This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Come to me.
Focus Features invites you to succumb to the darkness.
Nosferatu.
From director Robert Eggers comes a masterpiece of horror.
He is coming. This creature is a force more powerful than evil. It is death itself.
Nosferatu. Rated R. Under 17 without parent. Only in theaters Christmas Day. Special engagements in Dolby and IMAX.
Welcome to another episode of the NPC Nintendo News Minute. I'm your host, N64 Josh. In this episode, we're going to be talking about our Nintendo News Roundup and just all the things happening in the world of Nintendo, as well as take a little deeper dive into a couple of topics like Switch 2 leaks seem to be everywhere at the moment, and I would be willing to bet that we've actually seen what the system looks like. So before we jump into it, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell. First up, Nintendo Switch Online, NES, and Genesis apps get updated to fancy new NPL servers. So this comes to us via Oatmeal Dome on Blue Sky, and it says Nintendo Switch Online, the app has been updated to version 7.00. This update converts it from NEX old servers to NPLN, which is the new servers, like the recent Sega Genesis update. Expect the rest of the apps to be converted eventually. Now, we're looking at an article from Nintendo Life, and it says a few people have asked what the benefits of NPL are, says Oatmeal Dome. For NSO apps in particular, the benefits are really more for the devs than the players. The biggest player visible benefit I can think of is that the internet connections with poor NAT type C, D, or F are now compatible. The benefits are significantly easier to see in a real game like Splatoon 3, which uses NPL features extensively. For example, stuff like the big run egg counter and pools would have been more difficult to implement with NEX used by Splatoon 1 and 2. Speaking at the end of November, Oatmeal Dome says that the NPLN servers have slowly been rolling out the past few years, but it's unknown if Nintendo will convert games rather than apps to the new servers. Next up, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe support added to Alarmo. That immediately had me going to the shopping page to try to order one, but they're currently sold out and they're not going to be shipping until January. But I was honestly just kind of holding out until Mario Kart sounds were available, and then I was going to be all over it. So they are now live. You can update your Alarmo if you've already got one. We're looking at Nintendo Life here, and it says Friends of Jimbo 3 is out now for free, and it adds 8 new cosmetic flares that you can apply to your cards. And the last, Shovel Knight, has managed to dig his way into the game. It was only a matter of time. He is the king of indie crossovers. Alongside Yacht Club Games Superstar, you'll get card designs inspired by Divinity Original Sin 2, Enter the Gungeon, Potion Craft, Don't Starve, Warframe, 1,000 Times Resist, and Cult of the Lamb. Oh, and if you recognize the face in the trailer, yes, it's 100% Ben Starr, who just seems to be popping up everywhere after his knockout performance in Final Fantasy 16 last year. And remember, Balatro is up for Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year, so if you picked it up yet, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Next up, Mew EX heads to Pokemon TCG Pocket next week in new booster pack, and the trailer for this is honestly gorgeous. Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket has announced its first new booster pack, and it's coming to the game on the 17th of December. The new expansion is called Mythic Island, and it stars Mew EX alongside with Celebi EX, Trainer Card Blue, Aerodactyl EX, Marshadow, Morlul, and a handful of other newcomers. New cosmetic items and new solo battles will also be landing next week. Alongside this new booster pack, the Pokemon Company has also revealed that TCG Pocket has been downloaded 60 million times since its launch in October of 2024. I gotta say, I'm still opening packs somewhat regularly, and I haven't got my God pack yet, though. Have you? Let me know in the comments below. And are you looking forward to this update to Pokemon? This next piece of news honestly warmed my heart. Nintendo expands Nintendo Switch Online, NES, and Game Boy Color library with 2 more classics. And there was a special message from the creator of Tetris. So make sure if you haven't seen this yet, either go to Nintendo's Twitter or go to their YouTube page and watch it. It's honestly really, really kind of touching. And these games had such a huge place in my childhood and even into adulthood. I have Tetris DX in my collection now. It was a game that I bought multiple times and still will pick up and play to this day. It's kind of a timeless classic, honestly. So one of the things he says in the video is, I'd like to thank all the fans from around the world. You guys are part of the Tetris legacy for the past 40 years and into the future. And one quick side note, if you do have Apple TV, with it being the 40th anniversary of Tetris, I would say go and check out the movie. It is obviously, it had Hollywood, they did their thing with it to make it more entertaining, but they did do just that. It is quite entertaining. And I do think there is some realistic peaks into the way gaming was back then. And it also deals with like Nintendo dealing with Russia and the licensing for this game. It's honestly kind of insane. Again, I don't know how much of it is accurate, but it is overall a pretty fun ride, and it includes Tetris, so worth checking out on Apple TV. Now it's time to dive into our main topic, which is all about the Switch 2 leaks, and there are so many of them today. It's honestly kind of unbelievable. We've seen things from SwitchUp, like a company that makes cases, sending them a 3D printed version of Switch 2. We've seen other companies that are showing their like silicone cases that are going over Joy-Cons and over the entire system. I would say at this time, we have probably seen what the Switch 2 looks like. There is an extra button under the home button. I'm not quite sure what that does. The form factor looks very similar to the original Switch, and it's not too shocking, honestly. I'm kind of over all of these leaks. I really wonder what Nintendo's going to do going forward, like with their next system launch, because it's honestly out of hand. There are so many leaks right now. The majority of the internet is like, just announced this thing already. I think they're kind of playing chess right now with the holiday and selling OLEDs and regular Switches and Switch Lites and still getting more people on Nintendo Switch Online. And I do believe that they are getting ramped up for a major launch that is going to keep scalpers at bay, because I really think they've ramped the production from everything that I've seen, and Switch 2 should be readily available when it does finally launch. I will say, from somebody that was like really looking forward to just the surprise, you can't help but see this stuff if you're online, unfortunately. It does get me excited, though. I'm really looking forward to this next system. Even though we might have seen the form factor, we have no idea what this thing is capable of yet, and what games we're going to see. And that's really where the ultimate excitement lies. We did find out today that the Switch 2 is going to be running on the same operating system as the Switch 1. Some people are a little concerned about that, wondering like, oh no, is it going to be slow? Is it going to be glitchy? But you got to keep in mind, this hardware is going to be updated, more powerful, hopefully runs better. Think about it like going from, Windows 95 to Windows XP and all those way back in the day. I have a feeling we're going to be pleasantly surprised with how things run on the next system. They know those things have always been an issue, and the Switch has honestly always been old tech. Not that this one is going to be like brand new tech, because they, if you want to sell it at a profit, you can't be bleeding edge. It's got to be a little bit older, but that doesn't mean it's still not going to have the horsepower that it needs to really run the way we want it to. And if it does have DLSS, which I believe it will, games have the potential to look absolutely gorgeous, to play just amazing. And I I'm looking forward to what we are going to see, as we all are. Everybody just wants something from Nintendo. And so we're eating these crumbs of leaks from accessory manufacturers, and we're all ready for the official launch. So if you want to see what the Switch 2 is potentially going to look like, it does not take much of a Google search to find these videos, these photos, because we have all of these different accessory manufacturers showing us what almost looks like the identical thing. I'm pretty sure we have seen what Switch 2 looks like. Is that going to force Nintendo's hand? No. Are we going to see something at the Game Awards? I hope so, but I don't know. Let me know all of your thoughts on the news and the Switch 2 rumors and leaks in the comments below, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, and we'll see you in the next one.